疲れ様.
Hey, kanpai.
Kanpai.
Welcome back to Happy Hour Japan. Kevin's got a bad case of the Mondays today.
Oh yeah, man, it's a horrible Monday today.
so we're gonna try to smooth that out and have fun talking about whatever we talk about.
This is helping already, so.
Dude, you just had a sip. What a lightweight.
Well, I actually had like 6 before you came over.
So before we get started, we've had a lot of people emailing us and posting, a few people have posted comments wondering what some good Japanese resources are for learning kind of like 101 level stuff, really basic. Well, I don't know if you've seen it or not, but we have a free 5-part video course where we kind of walk you through some of the really basic phrases and words that you'll need to know in order to kind of get your foot in the door with Japanese. So we call it our 5-day quick start course. We also say mini course, but it's all the same thing. And we have it, I think we have a big green button on our site somewhere, right. Usually up towards the top right. And you can, if you're interested, you can put your email in and we'll send you the course.
Right. So if you're not already on our blog site, visit us at ispeakjapanese.net and you can find it there. It's free.
It's fun.
It's fun, hopefully.
Yeah,
we try to make it fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's really casual and we kind of just do something like this.
Yep.
To teach Japanese.
It's a little more educational than our Happy Hour Japan videos. It's more kind of geared towards actual conversation and speaking as opposed to culture and stuff. So.
Right. So if you're interested, feel free to sign up.
Indeed. All right, so let's get into it. Yeah, so Kevin and I were talking. We were trying to figure out just before this what we were going to film today, and we were talking about potential idea for talking about keitai or cell phones, but we decided that a more interesting topic was the idea of how Japanese as a language evolves over time. It's really a fluid language, and Kevin brought up the the shortening of words is a perfect example of that. Right. So,
I mean, every time you go to Japan, you're gonna, in a sense, it's kind of like learning a new language because there's tons of new trendy words, I guess you could say. I mean, they're not really like in the dictionary. They're just trendy words that people make up, and the Japanese love to shorten words. They just absolutely love it, and it dates back a long time. It's not something new.
Really? When did it start? Do you know?
Beats me. But I mean, a lot of the words that were shortened have become,
like the correct word, basically.
Exactly. Like computer, right? Pasokon.
Pasokon.
So
personal computer.
Right. It's short for personal computer.
There are a lot of stores too. Stores like, what you said, Family Mart.
Oh yeah, Family Mart. So kind of bringing it into present day, where people talking casually to each other. Most of the time, you won't hear people say Family Mart, which is one of the convenience stores in Japan.
Right.
They will say Famima. So it's shortened version of Family Mart. Or even the word for convenience store, which is konbini, short for...
Yeah, konbini, so it's a shortened version. Yeah.
Right, konbini is short for convenience.
And it's really funny. I see my wife and her friends here in the States, they make up short words for things that...
Exactly.
They make up their own short words for things. It's pretty interesting.
Right. And it's interesting, too, because you have regional, kind of not influences or dialects, but, people from different places in Japan will abbreviate things differently. And probably the most famous example is McDonald's.
Ah, yes.
In Tokyo, or the Kanto area, they will say Mac. So you say, I'm going to go to Mac, which is short for McDonald's. In the Osaka, Kansai area, they always refer to it as Makudo.
Yeah, Makudo.
So if you refer to McDonald's in Tokyo as Makudo, they know that you're from Osaka. And vice versa.
Well, I've always said Makudo, but I didn't know that was an Osaka thing. So
yeah.
I guess I get that because my wife went to college in that
region. Right.
So yeah. So I don't remember exactly what it was, but I heard something, or somebody told me something when I was in Japan in a train station. We were talking about vending machines, and I can't remember what it was, but there was another one for that too.
I'm guessing that you probably heard jihanki. Which is short for Jidou Hanbaiki, which is much longer, right? And that's one thing, Japanese words are so long, typically, that it's just easier to shorten them, right?
Yeah. And my family's kind of old school, and my in-laws were here a few months ago, and while this is partly a dialect thing, and partly also the fact that I think I'm learning from, the younger generation and being my wife and everything, is that he would say stuff, and I'd be like, oh, I don't know what he's talking about, you know. And it wasn't all just because of the dialect, but because he'd use old school words, you know.
Right.
And then my wife would be like, what are you saying? Don't say that stuff to him. He doesn't know that, you know. Like that's you have to use this, you know, not the simple version, but the new version, you know. So,
right. I think the example, I overheard this conversation when.
That's right. You were there, right?
I wasn't there when he did this to you, but Maki was telling me about it. She was saying that he asked Aaron to grab a saji. And she's like, do you know what a saji is? And I was thinking to myself, well, that sounds like osaji and kosaji, which is teaspoon and tablespoon. So I was like, maybe spoon. That was the first time I'd heard the word, and she's like, yeah, it's spoon. But no one in Japan calls it a saji anymore because everyone uses the American word spoon.
Yeah, no, spoon.
So, I mean, that's the example. So I mean, I guess it goes both ways, right? Some of the older words get retired for the new words, and there's just constantly new words that are emerging that people need to be aware of, and a lot of people will consider you kind of out of the loop if you don't know these words.
My father-in-law is probably really out of the loop.
Yeah, I mean, it's one of those things you can't really help. It's impossible to know all the most trendy words. You can go to Japan in spring and go to Japan in the summer, and there'll be new words that crop up.
Yeah, it moves fast. It's really amazing.
It's very, very fast. I mean, in one of our really early episodes, we talked about KY, right?
Oh yeah.
Which is short for Kuki ga yomenai. And that's a short one where when I went to Japan in April, I showed some friends and they're like, what's KY? They hadn't caught up with them yet, but in some circles it was probably the wave that had already passed, right? Yeah. So I mean it's very quickly evolving. A lot of people talk about how in Japan trends just rise and fall just so quickly.
Yeah, they're like shot in the dark flame.
Exactly.
Just burn out real
Exactly.
Fast,
I mean, music trends. There's a lot of one-hit wonders because they'll be really popular for a short time and all of a sudden they'll be gone.
Yeah.
And you'll see comedians also who
there's so many comedians. Like I remember some that I was watching when I first went to Japan and everything, but when I came back, like I'm just like, where are these guys? They're not even around anymore.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. There's only, you really know you've made it in Japan if you're still on TV like 5 years later. And those people really just have figured out a way to maintain their
they're like cultural cornerstones by that point.
Exactly. But if you watch Japanese TV, for example, that's kind of where it really propagates.
Yeah.
So
not like Oyaji TV.
Yeah, right.
Like the popular TV.
The popular TV shows. Yeah. But anyway, that's just something to keep in mind that I think it trips people up. It tripped me up for a long time because I was like, I don't understand.
To this day, I still have a hard time understanding my father-in-law just because of, well, one, the dialect, but two, he uses old words that people just don't use anymore, at least that I've heard. He's the only guy I've ever heard these words from.
I bet you actually know more new trendy words than you do old words, probably.
You're probably right. I sometimes wonder if I know more new words than he does, and he's Japanese, which is kind of crazy.
Right. So I guess that pretty much ends the topic for today, but one last thing I wanted to quickly touch upon is t-shirts.
You're right. I think it's about time we get some logo wear.
Yep, absolutely. So Aaron and I are like, man, we're really having a lot of fun with Happy Hour Japan. We're kind of really building what we feel like is a growing community, and we were like, man, it'd be really cool to have t-shirts. But we certainly wouldn't want to do anything without your input.
So if you guys don't want t-shirts, we don't want to put in the effort right now. It makes us sound lazy, but to be honest.
Yeah. So, we want to, right. So, first off, I guess I wanted to ask if any of you guys were interested in t-shirts. And, if you are, I think what we'll do is we'll put together a t-shirt design contest where we can get some ideas and just make a really cool, t-shirt for Happy Hour Japan. That you can get from us here. So
let us know. Please post a comment and tell us if you're, number one, interested in the t-shirt contest. Number two, whether you think it should be a t-shirt or whatnot, t-shirt or hat or anything like that. Right. So.
And of course, if you want to stay on topic, we'd love to hear some of your some of the shortened Japanese words that you've heard in Japan that you can share with other people so that they get into the loop. So
sounds good.
All right. Well, I guess that's all the time we have for today, and we'll see you later.
Bye.
Kanpai.